I have said this for years. Temptation isn't seed, it's fertilizer. And here's what I mean. Temptation can only stir up what's already going on inside of us. Temptation can't plant something in us that's never been considered or thought of. It's not how it works. Eve just happened to be there at the tree she wasn't supposed to eat from. It's not like Satan transported her to it. He found her near it, and she was looking at it and thinking about it. She'd already had a discussion in herself over it. So the temptation was not, hey, go over there to this thing you've never thought about. It's, I see what you're thinking about. Let me see if I can stir that up a little bit. Temptation doesn't make you do things. Temptation gives you excuses to do the things you've already been thinking about doing. This is why it's so important that we guard our hearts, as Proverbs 4:23 says, and that we ask God to search our hearts as we pray from Psalm 139 so often. This is why we have to deny ourselves and take up the cross daily. It's why we have to take off the old man and put on Christ. Satan is only successful in places of our hearts that are not yet surrendered. And can we focus on yet? Not yet surrendered. There is nothing keeping any of us from surrendering except us. There is nothing you cannot give to God. You can't say, I've complained this long, I guess I'm always going to complain. You can surrender that. You can't say, well, I've always been a worrier. You can surrender that. I've always been afraid. You can surrender that. I've always just spoken my mind. You can surrender that. So the places Satan is successful are the places we have yet to surrender. But I'm going to throw that yet at us one more time. Yet can change today. Right? Yet can change right now. There's nothing you have to leave here wrestling with that you came in wrestling with. You can say, today's the day I'm going to stop making excuses for the way I've always been. And I'm going to say, I'm putting it in your hands. I'm putting it in your heart. I'm done with this. I might do it, but I'm not going to keep claiming it. Because sometimes sanctification takes some time, right? Like we want to be delivered in an instant, and that's always beautiful, but deliverance happens over a season, not over a second, right? Israel came out quickly. It took a long time to get Egypt out of Israel. And even once they got where they were going, they still weren't full, right? They still weren't fully sanctified. They still weren't fully delivered. We got to just let him keep working. Let him keep having his way, which means we just have to keep surrendering. Satan's temptation to Jesus was, if you are the Son of God, you shouldn't have to be hungry. If you're the Son of God, you have the power to do something about your hunger. If you're the Son of God, just turn these stones to bread. Have you ever considered that Satan was right? Jesus could have done that. Like there was nothing stopping Jesus from that except his submission to the Father. At any time, before or after the temptation, Jesus could have turned the stones to bread. He could have called down manna from heaven. He could have commanded angels to bring him food. He could have taken care of himself. Jesus is the Son of God. He could have commanded himself not to be hungry. But he felt it for us so that he could be our high priest. He endured it for us. It's the same as what he told Peter, right? When Peter tried to fight the night that Jesus was arrested, and Jesus stopped him, and Jesus said, do you not think I couldn't call legions of angels? I could change this anytime I want, but I don't want to change this because this is what my Father intended.